Hello everyone, in this video we will be discussing about mass assignment. Now what is mass assignment? Mass assignment is another way to inserting or updating your data in your database. Okay, in previous videos we saw several ways to insert data and update data from database. So in this video we will see how can we do that via mass assignment. So in previous video we saw that we have to select every attributes. When we are creating a data, we have to create an instance, then we have to select every attributes one by one. Then we will call our save method for save our data in the database. Same wise, when we have to update anything, we follow the similar steps, right? But in mass assignment, you don't have to select your every attributes, like we are selecting here post title, then we are selecting here like title description. Okay, we can pass a whole array like this. Let's say post, then we will call create, then we will take an array, and in array we will pass our data that will insert our data in the database. So let's see how can we do a mass assignment. Before starting, we have to declare our fillable fields in our models. So let's open our post model. In post model, we have to declare a property. So there are two properties, like one is fillable and second is guarded. Okay, so what is fillable and guarded? Now let's talk about fillable first. We will take a protected property and the property name will be fillable, and they're gonna be an array, and in this array we have to mention our field names. Like if I go to my database, let me refresh. If I go to this tab, table, we have these field names, right? Column names, title, description, status. Now we have to mention which column we want to mass assignable. Okay, so the columns we will mention here in fillable, those field will be mass assignable. We can use our mass assignment to create data for them. So let's see, if I say title, then we have also description, then we have status. We will skip created at and updated at. Let's copy the publish date, then we have this user ID, and views. So these fields will be mass assignable. So when we will use mass assignment for creating our data, we can only create data for these fields. If we skip any of column, like let's say views, so we can't insert data via mass assignment in our views. Basically, eloquent models are protected against mass assignment by default for some vulnerabilities. We'll talk them about later. Just understand that we have to mention our field names which we want to be mass assignable. We have to put them in this property. Okay, then we can use mass assign. So let's comment it out. Let's see what guarded does. So I will take protected property again, and I will say guarded, and this is also will be an array. So now if I put here my title column, that's mean I can't mass assign title column. Title column is currently guarded, but rest of the columns are now open for mass assignment. So basically we can say guarded is opposite to fillable. In fillable, the mentioned column will be mass assignable, and in the guarded, the column you will mention those will not be mess assignable. We can't create data on them, but rest of the columns will be mess assignable. Like I mentioned title field here, right? So we have also description, status, published date. So all of those column will be now mess assignable. Okay, I hope you understand. And if you want to make your all column mess assignable, you can just put this array empty, and that will make your all field mess assignable, and you can use mess assign for create or update your datas, right? Now let's comment it out. I will uncomment this. So we are ready for create data via mess assignment. Now let's go to our home controller. I will be removing this. In here, as usual, we will take a, let's say, post variable, call our class post model colon, then we will say create. In create, we will pass a array. Okay, in this array we have to mention our field name and values. In key, it will be column name, and at the value it will be the value we want to create, right? Similar to insert method that we used before. Now let's say I will say this is from okay. Now similar way we will put all our columns and values. Let's say description, then we have, let's see, status. Let's say status will be 1. Then we will ignore created at and updated at. As I told you before, in Eloquent we don't have to fill created at and updated at. These two field will generate it auto when we create or update any kind of data. So let's skip to published date. Let me give the date format. It will be YMD. Let's copy the user ID. So user ID will be, let's say, 1. So basically we are putting all the dummy datas, and views, let's say it will be 500 view. So that's it. We created our array. Now we don't have to do anything. Now let's add a diagram here and pass a string. Now if I go to my front end and then go to my home route, you can see it's showing me success from diagram. Now let's go to our DB manager. In data tab, if I refresh now, you can see we created a data. This is our title, this is from mess assign, we got the description and the other values. If I go to my code, you can see here is the string of the title. So that's how we can create data via mess assignment. First of all, you have to call your model, then we will call this create method. In create method we will pass our array. That's all. That will create our datas. Now in this case we don't have to call the save method for saving the datas. It will automatically create. Now let's talk about how can we update data. So update is also similar. Let's copy it and comment it out. So now we will see how can we update data via mess assignment. So for update, let's remove this array first, and I will be removing this method also. Update is also similar to our other videos, like we have to select a row. So for select a row, we know we can use find method. In find method we have to pass a ID, right? So let's go to our DB manager. Let's say I want to update this 74 number row. So ID is 74. Now let's return this one and refresh. You can see we are getting the data. The ID is 74. Okay, now we will update this row. Let's remove the return. For updating, we can chain another method after the find method. It is update, right? And we will pass a array. In array, we can specify our field and the value. In key, we will say, let's say title, and in value, let's say I will pass a string. That's all. Now let's go to our front end and I will be refreshing. You can see the success text from this diagram. Now let's go to our DB manager and refresh. You can see our title has been changed, the data has been updated. Okay, now similar way, let's update our description. Now let's check our old data. This is a description from mass assign. If we go to our front end and refresh again and go to our DB manager and refresh, you can see our description has been changed and it replaced to the description has been updated. That's how you can update your row via mass assignment. I like to show you little more about update. Now instead of, let's say I will use a where condition in here, right? So in where condition, let's say I want to change all the status from my post table, all the status, right? We have currently all status 1, so I want to make all status 0. So how can we do that? It's pretty easy with mass assignment. We just have to say status and then we will pass the value is 1. So what it will do, basically we are selecting all the status which value is 1 in our post table, right? Then we will update that into our new value. Now let's say the status will be 0. Okay, so now if I go to my front end and refresh, okay, sorry, I made a typo here. It will be status, and if I refresh, you can see it showing me success. Now if I go to my DB manager and refresh, you can see our status has been changed, all status has been changed to 0, right? So you can also change multiple rows at the same time with this update method. So I think you understand about mass assignment. So I think that's it for this video.